Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm Double IB and those are my predictions for the week 5 of the NFL. In this first game of the season, we have the Colts playing against the Patriots. For the Pats, they have Julian Edelman coming back and he will be a key piece for the offense. Their defense is playing okay, and after for the Colts, they have Darius Leonard on defense who's playing really good, and Andrew Luck on offense with T.Y. Hilton who will show us some improvement. Even if they lost last week to the Texans, I feel like the Colts will bring out a great battle. But at the end, Patriots will playing at home. Edelman is back, so that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 28-17. In the next game, we have the Denver Broncos playing against the New York Jets. The Jets have trouble competing in games after winning their first game in the season, and the Denver Broncos lost last week to a thrilling game against the Chiefs. The Denver Broncos should not have a lot of competition in this game because the Jets are not playing really good. It's time for Sam Darnold to show us that he can continue on his path to being a great quarterback. But I'll give the win to the Denver Broncos because they lost to a good team in the Chiefs last week. So Broncos will win this game by a score of 23-14. In the next game, we have the Detroit Lions playing against the Green Bay Packers. This game we have two teams that we're not sure what to think about them. They can play good and bad at the same time. So I have the hard time to choose in this game. We have the Green Bay Packers who win last week 22-0 against the Buffalo Bills, and the Detroit Lions who lost a thrilling game against the Dallas Cowboys. I feel like this game will be really close, and I have a hard time to choose. So I think I will go to the team who proved us the most throughout the years. So I'll give the win to the Packers by a score of 20-17. In the next game, we have the New York Giants playing against the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers come from a bye last week, so they'll be fresh. And the other side, the New York Giants lost last week to the New Orleans Saints. They play a good game, but only in the second half. The first half was really poor for them. So I hope that they will come this week against the Panthers with their second half mentality. On the other side, Panthers had a really good start of the season, even if they lost to the Falcons. But I feel like they will win this game because this game is playing at home, and I'll give them the win by a score of 28-20. In the next game, we have the Tennessee Titans playing against the Buffalo Bills. The Bills had one good game against the Vikings, but after that they haven't showed us a lot of good things, and the Titans really surprised us by having a 3-1 record. They beat the Jaguars and the Philadelphia Eagles. So I think I'll give them the win. Marcus Mariota is playing okay, could play better, but for a moment the team is winning, so it's not that big of a problem. That's why I will give them the win by a score of 28-7. In the next game, we have the Atlanta Falcons playing against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Those two teams are really offensive based, so I feel like this game will be high scored. On one side, we have the Falcons with Matt Ryan at quarterback, and the other side we have Big Ben, who didn't show us a lot of good things. He has a great offense, but cannot complete drives. So I feel like this game will be really close. But I think I'll give the win to the Falcons because they played some close game. They lost at the last seconds against the Bengals, and they lost in overtimes against the Saints. So I feel like the Atlanta Falcons has the best chances to win this game. So I'll give them the win by a score of 30-29. In the next game, we have the Baltimore Ravens playing against the Cleveland Browns. The Ravens are a really good team and they could make a run to the playoffs and go far. On the other side, the Browns had one good game against the Jets that they won. And after that, they play really good, but they're not able to finish the game against the Raiders by losing in overtime. As I said, the Ravens are a playoff team, so I feel like they have to win each game that they have the opportunity to have a better position in the playoffs. So I feel like they will want to win this game, and that's why I will give them the win by a score of 24-15. In the next game, we have the Miami Dolphins playing against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals played a really good game last week, and the Dolphins play okay against the New England Patriots. I feel like this game will be really close, but Bengals offense is really good and their defense is playing good, so that's why I'll give them the win. And they're playing at home, so that's why they will win this game by a score of 27-21. In the next game, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs are 4-0 this season, but they still have some flaws, and those flaws are in defense. On the other side, the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is really good, but their offense is not the best. So this game will be determined how well the Kansas City Chiefs defense and the Jaguars offense will do. But I feel like the Jaguars will have the advantage because defense winning championships. so I'll give them the win by a score of 27-24. All good things have to come to an end, so the Chiefs' win streak will come to an end at 4 games. Patrick Mahomes will play good, but against a good defense in the Jacksonville Jaguars, he will have some problems, and will predict that he will throw his first pick. Next game, we have the Oakland Raiders playing against the LA Chargers. The Raiders won last week, but they won against the Browns, so it's not a big accomplishment. On the other side, the LA Chargers won last week in the close game against the San Francisco 49ers without Jimmy Garoppolo. So I feel like this game, the Chargers want to bounce back and show us that they can be a really competitive team. And the Raiders will try their best to continue on the road, but I feel like one game is enough for them to win. And they're playing against the Browns, as I said before. So Chargers will play at home. They'll play against the Raiders team, who's not the best. So Chargers will win this game by a score of 24-14. In the next game, we have the Minnesota Vikings playing against the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles lost last week to a thriller against the Tennessee Titans. In this game, they have their ups and downs, but I feel like this game they want to keep their ups during the whole game. On the other side, the Vikings lost in a thriller in an offensive game against the Rams. The Kirk Cousins threw for over 400 yards, but this game was played Thursday, so they had a long week before the next game. So I feel like they had a lot of time to think about this game, what didn't go wrong, what did go right. So I feel like they will win this game by a score of 23-20. In the next game, we have the LA Rams playing against the Seattle Seahawks. The Rams have a really good offense and they seem like they're unstoppable. And the Seattle Seahawks defense is not the greatest. They're not like the Legion of Boom from the few years past. So the Rams offense will have a really good time playing against this defense. They will not have a lot of difficulties, and Russell Wilson will not able to contain what the Rams offense will do. He will not be able to do the same thing with his offense. So I'll give the win to the Rams by a score of 31-21. In the next game, we have the San Francisco 49ers playing against the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals have a hard time winning game, and I lost all my hope in them. I had hopes with Josh Rosen starting the game and all this last week, but they disappointed me by missing a field goal at the end of the game. So all my hopes are done with the Cardinals. On the other side, we have the San Francisco 49ers, who played really good last week against the Chargers, even if they lost. But a reminder, Jimmy Garoppolo is injured for the rest of the season. So their backup quarterback played really good. And their offense is showing that it can still play without Jimmy G. So that's why I'll give the win to the 49ers. They're playing at home, so they will win this game by a score of 21-11. In the next game on Sunday night, we have the Battle of Texas. On one side, we have the Dallas Cowboys, and the other, we have the Houston Texans. Those two teams come from a win last week, so they come in this game with confidence. But I feel like the Dallas Cowboys have a better team. Ezekiel Elliott is playing amazing, and the Houston just won their first game last week against the Colts. So they're still not a good team. They just won one game, so there are not a lot of things to enjoy about this team. So that's why I'll give the win to the Cowboys by a score of 21-17. For the last game of this week, on Monday night, we have the Washington Redskins playing against the New Orleans Saints. The Redskins come from a bye last week, so they will be fresh for this game. And the other side, the Saints are in a row by winning 3 games in a row. So the offense is playing really good for the Saints, and they'll be able to beat the Redskins defense because they come from a bye, so they'll not be at the start of the game. At the start of the game, they will not be ready because they haven't played last week, so they'll be a little bit floppy. So I feel like this game will be really. By the score I gave, this game seems really close, but the Saints will go on a roll in the first half of this game, and after that, the Saints will come in the second half by having a little bit of game experience, and they'll try to make a comeback, but at the end they'll fail, and the Saints will win this game. So to finalize, the Saints will win this game by a score of 31-24. Thank you guys for watching. Those were my predictions for the Week 5 of the NFL. I'll be back next week with more NFL.